A warm welcome to all the Capricorn rising signs of our zodiac to your astrology for May on Cosmic 101. Trust you're doing well. We are going to be talking about planets in transits in this month in this video connected to astrology and what it means for your rising sign. Before we get into it, I'd like to extend a courtesy announcement. I'm in transit and I'm in an environment where there's dogs around me. So if you hear any puppies barking in the background, that is why. So I just thought I'd use my manners and let you know there might be a few barks here and there. Okay, so we'll talk about your ruling planet. This is like Saturn. So Saturn's like your avatar in this incarnation if you're a Capricorn rising. So you are Saturnian in nature, and that means patient, ready to have a crack, have a go at doing something for yourself to create some sort of structure that you can be proud of and put a lot of elbow grease into creating your ideal world and foundations that will support you for a really long time. Capricorn risings are very diligent and patient. They're into permanence and nothing really fair weather. Not that you can't dip your toes in and out of different interests. It's just that you're more focused on establishing a lot of variety and options for yourself, but understanding that something somewhere along the line needs to stick and it's something that you can be proud of that has a gravitas and that makes you feel very secure within your own psyche, your body, and your environment. So Saturn in the month of May is actually shifting from Pisces into Aries, and Saturn will be retrograding in Aries and going back into Pisces, then going direct in Pisces later in the year, and then going back into Aries in January 2026, where you'll be really quite diligently focusing on the fourth house permanently for like 2.5, 3 years with Saturn in Aries from January 2026. So there's a bit of back and forth going on for you, Capricorn rising. And because Saturn does rule you, it's going to be important in navigating the astrological weather ahead for you, and that's my job in telling you what you can potentially expect with this transit. So this month, Saturn's wrapping up its transit for a little while in Pisces in your third house of travel, siblings, and education, and then ingressing into Aries, your fourth house of privacy, foundation, home, family, and parents. And the fourth house is how we also parent ourselves, what gives us a sense of stability, what gives us a sense of responsibility. That's the fourth house. Now, Aries is a fire cardinal yang sign, and you're a cardinal sign, so it's a nice matchup for you, but it's certainly going to have you thinking about the importance of not being too haphazard about disrupting your solid foundations and within home and family. You'll be more aware of where you hemorrhage a lot of unnecessary energy and where you need to rein it in, if you will, to create harmony on the day to day, especially like a fiery sign like Aries. So it's a big shift for you going from watery, mutable Pisces into fire cardinal zodiac sign like Aries. It's going to feel and be a lot different where you are more adept at sifting through the wheat and the chaff of where the energy is siphoning you and too much distraction and exacerbation and trying to settle yourself down into a groove and a pattern that really suits your lifestyle on the day-to-day when you come home to rest while you're busily outside in the world focusing on building something solid for you, or when it comes to relationships and what you do in your professional life. So that's a little footnote for the month of May. So Saturn, your ruling planet, is moving from Pisces in your third house and moving on into Aries this month. And we're going to talk about all the other planetary alignments in this video for you and what it means for your rising sign. Okay, Capricorn rising, let's get into it. On the 4th of May to the 13th of October, Pluto is retrograding in Aquarius in his second house. Your second house, Capricorn rising, is ruled by Saturn as well as Capricorn. And the second house is about your livelihood, your possessions, It is the house of finance. So Pluto retrograding in Aquarius in your second house for 5 months indicates that there is a turning of the soil, a tilling of the earth when it comes to revealing potentials that are almost futuristic and focused on liberation and freedom with Aquarius themes. Your money, your finances, and livelihood are going through a transition where you might be doubling down on being really focused on your future possessions, your assets, the finances, and your livelihood. So this is a slow turning of a generational tide. Pluto is a generational planet, and Pluto is really good at slowly transforming a particular part of the natal chart. So this slow transformation in your second house of finance, ultimately, in things that are tangible, that you utilize, that support you, is going through an overhaul. And in Aquarius, where it is about the future and liberation and freedom, you're diligently researching and connecting with different people, places, and faces, learning the ropes. How did they get where they are regarding financial freedom? Or how did they uh, become so good at what they do with their work and that supports their livelihood for a very long time? So this looks like a transit for you from the 4th to the 13th of October, where you're super focused on being a really good student on how to liberate and create more freedom for yourself financially. Really quite helpful transit from the 4th of May to the 13th of October. It's an opportunity. This window of time is an opportunity to give yourself enough time to digest and breathe in your tangible world and see if you can siphon any wealth that you may have overlooked or weren't patient enough to digest or understand. There's something here that Pluto wants to bring to you when it's in a retrograde. Pluto is stronger when he's in a retrograde, indicating that there's something beneath the surface that you're not seeing that can provide liberation and freedom for you regarding your future livelihood, assets, and possessions. So quite a powerful transit from the 4th to the 13th of October this year. Mercury, the planet of intellect, stimulation, socializing, and finance, is ingressing into Taurus on the 10th in your 5th house of joy and pleasure. This is a quick transit because Mercury will be moving on from Taurus in the month of March and actually going into Gemini in your 6th house of work and service. So this is quite quick. So what does this mean for Capricorn rising signs? Well, Taurus, that zodiac sign in of itself, likes things steady, stable, and secure. Doesn't like a lot of change. It's a fixed zodiac sign. And in your house of pleasure, intimacy, children, and creativity, you do things pretty deliberately. And I would assume for Capricorn risings, you know what gets your motor going and what ticks your boxes. But when Mercury steps in here for a quick visit in your 5th house, this means that socializing, finance, and communication is going to be a focus for you when it comes to things that get your heart racing with children, pleasure pursuits, and dating and intimacy. So expect a lot of back and forth dialogue between you and other people, and potential financial conversations between you and children, if applicable, or with your romantic partners, or potentially with things that you do for fun, like even if you do skiing as a sport, then there's going to be potentially a financial focus in how much is it going to take for me to have fun and enjoy my skiing. So Mercury's quick transit in your 5th house indicates an uptick in socializing, finances, and communication. And this means from the 10th until the end of the month of May that your world, where the 5th house where you have a lot of fun, is getting a lot of exacerbation and attention. And this means that maybe it's time to take the work hat off, Capricorn rising, and get more into the physical parts of your life that bring you a lot of joy with Mercury and Taurus from the 10th of May. The 12th, we have our first lunation of the month, and it is a full moon in Scorpio. It's happening at 22 degrees, and it's lighting up your 11th house. That 11th house for you, where you have a deep, very passionate full moon in Scorpio happening in the part of your chart connected to your friends, your dreams, and your alliances, is certainly going to be a full moon to remember, Capricorn rising. Mercury is opposing this full moon in Taurus and squaring off with Pluto at the same time as this lunation, the first one of May. Interesting full moon. Scorpio is all or nothing. There is no bars held when it comes to Scorpio pursuing what it loves, and Scorpio wears many hats. There's many layers and depths to the zodiac sign of Scorpio, and this is your 11th house of dreams, your friends and alliances. So dreams, friends and alliances, I would assume for Capricorn risings aren't fair weather, and you hold them very near and dear to your heart. And what's in focus is the emotional expressions of these tried and true solid connections in your life, really asking you to step up to the plate and connect. But what may make you feel a little tentative of reaching out and grabbing someone's hand that is very familiar to you, whether it be a goal, an ally, or a friend, is that there is a financial component that may be disrupting a relationship, children, or your sense of joy should you take the hand of an offer that can feel like it's quite weighty on the 12th of May. So this is difficult. And why is it difficult to say no to people that have always had our back, or a dream that we simply can't let go of, or an alliance that really is beneficial to us? Why is it so hard to say no? Well, there's something about Scorpio characteristics and reputations that it is all or nothing. And should you pass, there will be serious repercussions. So the 12th of May can have you feeling a little bit nervous. And it just doubles down on Mercury opposing that full moon in Scorpio from Taurus and your 5th house of joy and pleasure, and squaring off with Pluto in Aquarius, which is finances and things that support you. So the 12th looks like you might be in a better the devil you know than don't situation when it comes to taking up an opportunity or an invitation. So easy does it. If you have to say no, Capricorn rising, to a social event or a network in your life, then I wouldn't be too concerned that things are going to be severed if you don't take an offer up, because Scorpio is so deep and there usually is a really strong foundation built with Scorpio. If it comes to pass on the 12th that a friend is showing a different set of colors with their peacock feathers, that makes you feel a little bit less than comfortable, then this full moon might really have you thinking about this long-term deep connection in a new way, and how it may be influencing your sense of relationship and fun and finances. So it looks like maybe someone's peering over your shoulders and may have a financial influence over you on the 12th of May. On the 20th, the sun ingresses into Gemini, into your 6th house for 4 weeks. So the sun is the ruler of Leo, your 8th house of other people's resources, and it's ingressing into your 6th house for 4 weeks. Interesting. The 8th and 6th house do sextile one another, so that's quite beneficial. So from the 20th of May to the 20th of June, there's a lot of resources available for you to lean on to support you with work and services and anything to do with co-workers and your daily routine. So if you need to take a break, or you need to create more balance in your life from the 20th of May to the 20th of June, it'll be easy to lean on, if you will, other people to support you if you need to dip your toes in and out of work. And so it looks favorable if you need to take the foot off the gas pedal. Instead of go, 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 you may be able to take a bit of a break, Capricorn rising, where you don't feel like the daily grind's overwhelming you for 4 weeks. So quite helpful for you. When everything's going along nicely, when it comes to fun and joy and intimacy and children, if applicable, everyone's happy, everyone's cruising along. There's nothing worse than having a cog in a wheel when everything gets thrown off the table, like a monopoly board being thrown in the air because someone is getting agitated that they're losing the game. Well, the 24th of May could just be that day when Mercury conjuncts Uranus, when things that you really love and enjoy takes a hard left turn. Expect disruption that really does have you in a tailspin regarding joy, children, or romantic interactions. The same day on the 24th, this is when we see your ruling planet now ingress into Aries, into your fourth house. So your focus is to take initiative in creating structure that is streamlined, not chaotic, with your home, family dynamics, parents, parenting, how you parent yourself. You're interested in doing things in private, behind the scenes, and whistling while you work in creating a sanctuary for yourself with Saturn in Aries. Interesting because Saturn, being your ruling planet of your body, what you want to start, what you want to begin, who you are, you may also have a more quiet time when Saturn's in Aries, meaning that you're happy to whistle while you work at home, spend more time in a home, and be more diligent in creating some solid foundations for yourself that give you a sense of joy, pleasure, and peace. So it almost feels like the general's coming home, and that means you stepping up to the plate and taking control in settling conflict within your foundations. Interesting. When Saturn ingresses into Aries, your fourth house, on the 24th of May. The 26th, Mercury leaves Taurus, your fifth house of fun, and now is interested in being in the sixth house of Gemini, its own zodiac sign, where it's very happy. Mercury is the planetary ruler of the zodiac sign of Gemini. And in your sixth house, well, it's all about the daily grind and the routine. It's sextiling your fourth house where your ruling planet's just ingressed in. And this indicates things are easy to calm down, get into a routine, streamline, structure, create order out of chaos, and think outside the box and how you can bring in stimulation and intellectual pursuits on the day to day that keep you engaged. Wonderful transit when Mercury is in Gemini in the house of service, work, co-workers, your health, and your everyday life. When Mercury does ingress into Gemini on the 26th, it's sextiling your ruling planet Saturn, and this indicates that the 26th is a pretty cruisy day. There's really nothing that can go too wrong. You're all in control, and Mercury is looking over at your ruling planet Saturn in agreement and saying, yeah, let's get some structure on the day to day. This feels quite good. Beautiful, the 26th of May. And Mercury will be in Gemini, its own zodiac sign, moving into the month of June. The next day on the 27th, there's a new moon in that sixth house of Gemini, and this one's at 6 degrees. And Mercury, the ruler, is trining off with Pluto. Let's talk about this new beginning in your house of habits, daily routines, work, health, services, labor. Well, when you have a new moon, it's a quiet new beginning where things aren't really revealed. It's all very in hush hush mode. A new moon is about a new feeling within the body, a new emotional journey. And in Gemini, it's about expanding, with different paths, what you can do on a day to day that provides intellectual stimulation, what really gets your motor going. Where's the variety and diversity? And you're seeking it out here on the 27th, and you're ready to engage in something that's habitual, but also will keep you very focused and uplifted at the same time, where you feel like I can't be bored. I need to be engaged in what I love, what I do. So, this new moon on the 27th indicates for you, Capricorn rising, that you're invested emotionally in keeping yourself stimulated to keep up with the daily grind. With the ruler Mercury trining off with Pluto in Aquarius in his second house of finance and livelihood, this indicates that you are ready to commit to some sort of work or service that has a financial opportunity for growth, something that's going to break into new ground for you that supports your livelihood and possessions and sense of self-worth. So the 27th indicates that you're engaged, you're ready to lock in to opening up to new paths and horizons that are going to keep you focused and entertained and doing the daily grind. Beautiful new moon on the 27th of May. On the 30th, the Sun conjuncts Mercury. So this is the Gazemi, meaning Mercury's in the heart of the Sun. With Mercury in the heart of the Sun, this is intellectual stimulation day. So watch for an overcrowding of the mind, too much coming at you at once. You may need to take a breath and take a beat on the 30th of May because there's a lot of energy kicked up within you. This is a lot of paperwork, a lot of emails, phone calls, dialogue, a lot of red tape, logistics, and paperwork that you might be needed to engage with. And that can be a little bit overstimulating for you on the 30th of May. So easy does it. Just take your time. Don't rush in where angels fear to tread by overlooking the fine print on the 30th of May. That's your astrology for the month. I trust you have a wonderful month of May, Capricorn rising. If you have any questions, you can contact me at cosmicgirl101 at protonmail.com regarding my astrological services or an astrology question. Till next time, stay cosmic.